Alright, so we are here who are hungry and are after some algae. So we will be trying to look into their private lives. Here we shall be looking into their private lives, and maybe they don't like it that much, but we'll see. We may find something of some interest. Okay, now we are focusing on the center of it. So now the alignment is almost ready and prepared, and we will be now focusing. We shall now focus, and we see some amoeba already, and in the background there are a lot of bacteria. It's a little shaky. I hope you can see those amoeba. In fact, one amoeba, then there are two cells, algal cells, and a whole lot of bacteria are swarming around. Okay, now there is this amoeba engulfing a ciliate. There you see on the top side. I'll bring it in the center. Let's see what it tries to do. Okay, he's probably dropped the plan. Amoeba are very tricky to see on a microscope slide because they mingle with given their transparency, they just mingle with the backdrop, with the background, and it becomes very difficult to identify them, especially at lower magnifications. It's very difficult. I'll give you an illustration. Presently, we are observing this particular frame with a magnification of, let me first bring some amoeba in picture. Okay, this one. So the magnification here is 10x is the eyepiece and 40x is the objective, that is 400x, and in addition the mobile phone through which I am recording this, it has already magnified this around twice or thrice, at least twice, I must agree. So we have around 800 times of magnification, and we see this. Now I'll try to go to lower magnification, that is at 10x, and this gives me 100 times magnification. And if we'll try to focus here, just how difficult it is, you can see. This is in fact 100x into at least two, that is 200x, and all you see is amoeba in form of small speck. You can make out a few of them. There are quite a few. And now I'll go back to, remember, 10x of eyepiece, 10x of objective, that is 100x. Add to that 2 times magnification by this cell phone camera, that is around 200 times magnified. This image is 2200 times magnified. Further, what I've done is I have also given the backdrop a little bit of refractive enhancement so that we can see some different phases. And it is under such situations and arrangements that we have seen this kind of an arrangement, this kind of a configuration. Now we shall focus, go back to a higher magnification, that is, we go back to 40x, and of course it will be around 800x because 40x eyepiece objective, 10x eyepiece, 400x, and multiply twice by 2 times magnification of the cell phone, that is 800x. So we need to refocus since the lenses have been changed. Refocusing, refocusing, refocusing. So this is the best we can get. You also see refractive images of various bacteria. A larger amoeba is coming from the top. It's really huge. Maybe he gives us a better picture. This is the sharpest that I can get. Now I'll again zoom in. When I zoom, I lose a lot of detail because the resolution just blurs out. All we get is a fizzled picture. The nucleus prominently shining. Now the protoplasm, and then the whole bob goes blurry. There is probably a bubble generated because you see the whole mass of water is flowing away. So I'll need to replenish. Let me zoom out. It's not that dangerous yet. Uh, this is a makeshift arrangement that I have here with me. Um, in a very freaky accident, I somehow happened to um, break my uh, microscopic device. The platform in which the light arrangement is done, with all the systems in place, it somehow just died. And now what I've done is I've arranged some improvised devices. I have an LED torch, a pocket torch, which is throwing a beam of very white light on the condenser, and from the condenser then I'm okay. This amoeba is rolling. See, he is rolling, but he's rolling for a different reason, because probably the water is, yes, water is decreasing in this slide. I have to immediately replenish some water. By means of a drop. There, I've replenished some water in the slide, and that'll keep them through. You see this flow of water, it's just the new water that has been added from the same culture, of course, so that the chemical constitution doesn't change and the organisms are not under a shock. Okay, so now that they are back to their business, we also get to our own business. Once I'm done with this video, I'll be transferring these individuals to another culture. So that they thrive. It's a fascinating hobby, microscopy. It's a very fascinating and a very rewarding hobby. Now these two amoeba are in a kind of a race. Zoom out so as to get a bigger picture. This is what exactly it is. It's a planet of amoeba. Amoeba planet. Okay. That was bad that I tried it. Now there is a hollow. Okay, this new arrangement. Let's try to find something else. Okay, so we'll shift over to a lower magnification so that we perform some search at different parts of the slide and see if we can find something other than this which could be of our interest. So now we are at 100x, and of course magnified twice by the cell phone, so that's around 200x. Okay, this area looks interesting. There must be some vorticella in that. Need to. Yes, there are a few, but they don't seem to be too active. There are just two, three of them which are active and are swaying. Okay, so we'll focus on this area now, and especially on this center individual. So now we are going to a higher magnification. Refocus, refocus, refocus. Yeah. Now we go to that fellow. Let's try him in focus. All right. So there is a cluster of bacteria near the junction of the stem. Maybe they are trying to feed on him or something. Yesterday, when I was observing the vorticella under microscope, I observed that once it goes after a collapsed state to an active state, that is, it comes out, then the mouth opens in a very peculiar pattern. First, there is a small lip-like opening, circular lip-like opening on the tip, which slowly expands, and then once it expands, comes out a set of flagella, a disc of flagella, and then that disc starts to beat. It's probably called the locule. I'm not very sure. This is pretty shaky, so I have to shift somewhere. Let's look at some other portion, some other individual. Yeah, this one looks promising. Again, there are bacteria at the same site, that is the junction of the stem. Is there something delicious or nutritious in that segment? It went back, so it's active. We'll bring him at a different focus, like this. Are those bacteria or are they the flagella? Because obviously at the lower tip, as we see, the lower end, there isn't any set of flagella. This looks pretty different from the general. I wish I could magnify it more, but okay, it is a flagellar part. It is flagella, it's not. It is not bacteria. These are flagella that are beating. Oh, osmoregulator. Okay, all right. I'm waiting for it to just. It looks like a very sad face, two eyes, and a very blurred out mouth. One eye beaten up becomes black. There is a bacteria. Bacteria just ventured here. It should snap pretty soon. I'm just waiting for it to snap so that I change the frame. It's been quite a while. We can beautifully see the metachronic rhythm of the cilia beating at the stalk connecting part. All right, I don't think he's in the mood of snapping. But did you notice that the vacuole has become bigger in this? Maybe he'll be vacating the vacuole now, emptying it. It's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. It's really big now. Will it just flush it out? Let's see. He has reached almost the periphery. This will be interesting. The vacuole has become it flickered. The vacuole is still pretty big, and of course that's not the nucleus because the nucleus won't increase so quickly. The beating is so rhythmic. Pretty rhythmic. Now the vacuole is real big. Around 20% of the volume of the entire cell is being occupied by the vacuole itself. It emptied. Did you notice? It was such an interesting sight. Now another vacuole is being formed. I hope you didn't miss that vacuole being emptied out. Another vacuole is forming now, slowly increasing in size. Meanwhile, did you see? That was so interesting. Now this vacuole will focus on the other vacuole, on this one. But it will be a difficult thing to watch. We'll just keep on this. He was interesting. We focus upon him. See the eye, the vacuole increasing and increasing and increasing slowly, gradually, but surely. There's a continuous increment in size. This looks funny. I'm just waiting for it to flush out that excess water. We've seen it once and we'll be seeing it again. All right, I'll just leave it at this focus and see if something happens for us to observe. The vacuole is still pretty big. Must empty now because its sides are in complete conjunction with the cell side. Let's just wait and watch. Any second from now. Any second. Don't blink. Don't blink. Don't blink. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yes, that was it. So it vacuated itself, and now another vacuole will be formed. This is so interesting stuff. Now you see another vacuole being generated. Slowly, a very prominent eye-like structure is being formed. It looks like a small baby face. That was so interesting, fascinating. All right, something else. Let's try and find something more. What about this fellow? He looks okay. He looks different. We'll focus on him now. Observe him for a while. That was it. It vacated itself, shed off some extra water from the body, and so will he. So shall he any second from now. There. So beautiful. Such a basic mechanism. Okay, so if we focus on some other part of the slide, we'll move to some other part now and see if we can find something of interest. Ah, that was my bad. Back to some amoeba. So we are back to where we started. Probably this amoeba is trying to grab this one. Let's just watch. Slowly it is spreading around itself. Oh, it's trying to just cover it from all possible sides and take it into a vacuole. But it's just too big for the amoeba. Just too big for the amoeba. There's a good fight going on. Pretty fascinating. That was a real hungry amoeba. Still trying to grab him from any possible place where it can take a good grip and mouthful of it. But that's just too much that he's wishing for. I don't think he'll be able to make it. Bacteria, 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 bacteria. What is this? So we'll just focus on one or a few amoeba and then call it off. Let's focus on this fellow, assuming the shape of a torpedo. Now a whale with big eyes. Now just a floating mass of gel. Amoeba, an amorphous creature, just a blob of protoplasm. Intelligent enough to find food, make a path for itself, go to places, respond to different kinds of environmental conditions, reproduce, and carry on gene transfer from one generation to the next. How marvelous! Okay, this is a little out of focus. Here again. This one. That is the extension of the pseudopodia. Then the entire gelatin mass goes in it. Then it decides the next place to go, and then throws a pseudopodia in that direction, fills it up with some ectoplasm, and then this ectoplasm becomes a leading foot. There you see, it becomes a leading foot, and then it grabs so it's been 34 minutes that I've been with this just one slide, and we have found some interesting stuff. I think it's a very fulfilling slide, and we can close the show for the day. All right, people, keep growing your cultures, keep growing your cultures of bacteria and microphages and whatnot, microorganisms. Keep watching them under the microscope, keep searching for new things, new events, and just be fascinated, because this microcosmos is a wonderful place. Goodbye for now.